today we're discussing body language and how it affects your relationship. Sometimes, I don't know whether, let me use myself as an example. Sometimes you can tell the mood of your partner by the way they behave. They haven't said anything, but you can tell whether they're in the mood for lovemaking. You can tell whether they're upset.
Yep.
You can tell when they're unhappy.
Standard.
But then some people are not able to actually interpret some of these things that are unsaid. So let's get your thoughts. Can you interpret your wife's body language? Do you always know when your wife is trying to say something?
No, so I think generally as a human being, if you spend long enough time with anyone, anybody, you can almost, maybe not accurately, but predict what mood they are in. It's just common sense. Like, you know that, she's not happy, she's not in this mood, he's not in this, it's just normal, it's just regular. You might not be 100% accurate, but to a certain degree, you're not going to be off the mark.
Some would say to an extent, women have this sixth sense, and they can sense certain things that men can't sense. Like somebody would say, your partner knows when you step out.
I lie.
Or if you're cheating on your partner, they can tell.
I beg you.
Let me go to Deck with this one. Deck, what are your thoughts on body language and what it says?
So you know, body language is it's something I call spiritual.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It has a strain of
can take it there.
of the supernatural. Why do I say that? I don't need to speak. There are certain things that I will do that you will pick, and you know exactly what I'm going through. I think yesterday I was scribbling through my phone, and I saw this video. Like I caught up on the video of this old man and this old lady, right? This guy was having a conversation like an active conversation with a person, right? And the wife bent down to pick something. Unconsciously, this guy just put his hand by the edge of the table so that she doesn't hit her head on. Like, he literally was having an active conversation with somebody. Yeah. But he was still spiritually in tune with the person that he was with. Now, I won't say spiritually so that it doesn't go too deep. But I'm saying that this guy knew what to do.
But that comes with,
regardless
that
of what
comes
it is.
Spending
now,
time with people, though.
Immediately, that's what I'm saying. You cannot, you can't understand body language if you don't spend time with people.
Once you spend time with people,
do you understand what I'm saying?
This.
So after she got up, right, I think she was trying to clean something on her face. Next thing, he was still having a conversation. He took like this serviette and gave it to her while he was having a conversation. So he didn't need to look at her to interact with her, to understand the body languages and some of the things that she was doing.
What that tells you is that they've spent long enough time.
That's what I'm saying. So the argument is that once you spend good enough time with a person, right? In fact, they don't even have to be your wife or your partner. If you're with a person, if you work with people closely for years, you will know what exactly it is that they are, going
So
through.
for me, I saw a recent video online with Ben Affleck and his wife Jennifer Lopez, whereby he looked very tired. He walked like he was dragging himself, and eventually he opened the door. He did the right thing as a gentleman. Opened the door. She got into the car, but he slammed the door.
The way he shut the door was awkward.
He slammed it. He didn't shut it. He slammed it. Then while he was walking, the moment he realized that it was being recorded, he said hello to that person. And for me, I think body language is one of the things in this part of the world that people ignore. I'm a victim of not understanding body language. I remember I used to date this girl many years ago, whereby we'll go out to events, we'll go out, publicly, and she's trying to, just not really show PDA. I'm not crazy about PDA. I tell people that I'm one of those few people that I'm not crazy about PDA, but it's taking me a while to know that you have to show it every now and then, especially when you're with someone. But then this lady would literally just want to keep me in the friend zone when we're outside. When we're indoors, she's all over me and outside. And it took a friend to tell me that, dude, she's for everybody. She's not for you. And a lot of times, those signs are there. For instance, I tell people that when you go out and you're hanging out and your so-called girlfriend or boyfriend is not doing certain things, he can't hold hands with you publicly. He can't, do some, freeze.
That could come from their previous relationship. It could come from how they were raised.
Yeah.
Generally, I believe, without a doubt in my soul, that if you spend long enough time with anybody in this world, you can almost predict how
That's
they will
the truth.
respond
That's it.
in certain situations.
That's it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if I walk into the house, today, in 2 seconds, I know, okay, bro, tread carefully. Or I'm like, oh, it's all good.
You're free.
Like, and it's not just with my wife, it's even with my friends. Like, people that you spend, even with my workers.
Yeah.
Like, I know
like,
where...
like,
read the
like,
mood.
like with me,
You
for
just-
instance,
you can
now,
read the room.
You see,
I know when my wife
you
is
know-
upset with me, when she calls me Lami. Like, it's even a written rule. Like, I'm like, oh, I know you're upset with me.
Once you are not
Because when
babe.
she's not
Once
like,
you are
oh,
not
Lami,
babe.
and she goes like,
Problem.
Lami. She doesn't say babe. She doesn't say, she doesn't call me any
Problem.
pet name. And she goes like,
Problem.
Lami. I know.
Problem.
I'm like, I don't mess up.
But what,
It's not
Olamide,
going down.
what about,
you
what
know-
about, what
you
about
know
this
the thing
scenario?
is this-
Well, hold on. What about
Okay.
this scenario? Your wife or your partner, she's upset. You can tell your wife is upset, but you don't know the reason why.
No, you never... You actually
And most
never
of the
know
times,
the
they
reason, though.
expect you to know what you've done.
No,
So
I-
women would always expect you to know what's going on, even if they know you will not know.
Yes.
So you see, the thing is, that's what I was about to say when Olamide talked about the fact that he hardly ever knows when, you know, he hardly ever notices stuff. It's not just you. Because I saw Gang when he said, me too.
Yeah.
It's a men's thing. See, let me tell you something. One thing I've come to realize, and I don't fight it anymore, is I don't fight to be aware of my surrounding. Now, when I say aware of my surrounding, I'm not talking about just the little things. So my wife is so vast that she will notice the color of the light. She will notice what this person wore. She will notice what this lady is wearing. Or she will notice the color of the chair. Me, I'm not seeing the color of the chair. I just came here and I saw so
Guys.
amount of men.
Yeah.
So amount of women. I'm here, I'm sitting down, I know that I have a cup in front of me. So women have this very sensitive, you know, thing about themselves where they know, they tend to notice more things than men. We're not as vigilant as women. That's the truth.
Now, I want to come to Femi because he gave me a certain reaction when I was talking about the fact that sometimes when your partner steps out or is cheating, is being unfaithful, your partner gets this sixth sense. Do you think it's you don't believe that?
Nyimu.
You don't believe that happens? You don't believe that sometimes your wife can tell this guy has started seeing somebody.
He put it out.
So
He
you
put
know
it
the
out
thing
that-
is this.
Honestly.
We know your game is tight and they'll never.
I plead the fifth. But honestly, this is what honestly. Think about it. You're a normal guy. Every time you come home, you're like, you play with your kids, you talk to your wife, you eat, then you go to bed. Then all of a sudden, when you come in, you just go straight to bed. Even you will know something is wrong.
Thank you.
No.
Gang, remember I talked to you about this.
Yeah.
this
So
thing.
you
Even
see-
you will know
can't hide
something is
it.
wrong.
So you
Even
see-
you will know
hide it.
something
So
wrong.
you see, the thing
But
is this.
experienced
Do you know
game
that-
players.
So let me,
Experienced
Okay,
game players.
you know the thing is this, right?
Bro,
I love what
then
you
they
just said.
download personality.
No.
Like,
No.
they
Okay,
get
you know
out
the thing is this, right?
personality.
Okay, you know the thing is this, right? You know that there are people who understand patterns.
Bro,
And what they do is this. They literally will do the opposite of that pattern.
straight up.
And then the next thing you call them is Idon.
Straight. As in OGYD. OGYD.
It does in
Do you
time,
understand?
man.
Well, Idon, because the thing is this, right? Once you have a pattern, and that is why for the men who know as they go, you shouldn't have a pattern.
You shouldn't.
Discover
OG code.
whatever I say.
OG
whatever
code
I say.
102.
I beg.
Never have
I
a
beg.
pattern.
I won't sleep for hours this
I
night.
think I take notes.
Never,
See,
never
see,
have
right?
a pattern.
No, but you see what he's saying there? I
Jot
swear to
things
God
down,
in heaven.
eh?
I swear to God in heaven there. If you can live by that rule, your life will be peaceful.
Never have a
Never
pattern.
have a pattern.
Be unpredictable.
Because once you have a pattern,
followed.
we know this
Baba,
hand.
we know you
We
now.
know this hand.
We
We know this hand.
we know you.
I shared an experience with
Ah.
Gang earlier this evening, and I said when I was much younger, many years ago, for one crazy experimental reason, I had sex with 2 different girls on the same day. The first
I
one-
don't know
But
the
then,
That's a long time ago.
I don't know
a
the
long time
When he was
ago.
of the world.
Yes,
don't-
when I was in the world. The first one, yeah, it was good and all that. And I said, oh, the first one will probably go back and say, oh, this was fantastic. But the second one, I can bet she will say this was horrible. because I was spent. And there and then I realized that you can't hide certain things. You can't step out on your madam and go back home and act like nothing has happened. She will know.
She will.
You might think it's okay, but she will know.
See, bro, so
The pattern
that
you
one,
have broken the
that
pattern.
one where they talk, you know, get
Rich
you know,
uncle.
no, you don't get pattern. I know men.
I have a song for him.
I know men.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
All right,
I know
guys.
men.
All right, let's take a quick break, refill our glasses once again, and when we come back, we will be taking your questions. Don't forget the hashtag is #TheBlackTable on TVC. We'll be right back in a bit to wrap it up this episode. Don't go anywhere. All right, welcome back. Let's go straight into your questions. They've been coming in with the hashtag #TheBlackTable on TVC. This one comes from Outlook.com. Says, gang, you look cool tonight. Oh, thank you. Please, I am with the guy. The guy isn't crazy at all. He is my stepson, and I love him because I love you. He isn't my blood. You are my wife. So if you choose to pick you, my wife, over the stepson, and you want a divorce, so be it. Okay, thank you. I told you we're trying to grow facial here. What Zeno cannot do. Adbenga sent in a message. He says, Adbenga says, it's not about the court process now. It's the fact that he is allowing the supposed second wife come online and insult the first wife
How, though?
using her dead son as a conversation.
What did she do?
No respect, nothing, and he isn't stopping it. If not my sister, she tried that nonsense with, after the man collects, the girl self go collect.
No, but how did she disrespect?
He's talking about the second wife has been making certain statements online as well
I think she's
that
very-
upsets
she's
the
very
first wife.
sensitive.
With
She's
subtle,
very
she has been saying
sensitive.
subtle things
Like-
with reference to the child they
Like
lost.
what?
I don't know the exact comments, but that's what Benga is saying.
So you guys realize that she's part of the family now?
Yeah, that's another
Not
aspect.
legally. Not
Technically-
legally.
Yes, but
Forget
technically-
legally at this point.
Forget legally, but
We've passed
technically,
legally at this
she has
point.
a son for him, so she's part of the family
So
now.
I just feel I feel
Are
that
we saying she shouldn't have an opinion?
no, I'm saying that at the point that
Mm.
May lost son, they needed to have reduced their social media presence.
Why?
which
But she
wasn't-
commiserated.
No, but that's
she
your
commiserated
rule,
with
She-
them.
No, so
she
my
did that. She
question
did
is,
that.
why do we-
But it felt
Why
it
do
felt
we
fake.
expect
them.
people
It
to
felt
grieve
fake.
the way we
No.
It felt
grieve?
fake.
So
And
you see-
you know why it
No.
felt fake?
Okay,
Why
So
it
you
felt
see,
fake?
you see, this
It's
is what I'm talking
wrong.
about.
That thing is
That
wrong.
is fake.
It
Why do,
felt
how do you
fake.
know?
You
That's
don't-
their
you are not-
family.
you are not the person
They're
to
not
decide
there.
that.
So what you're saying, no,
When
I'm saying
I
to
got
you,
fake, bro,
to you, it
to
felt
you it's
fake.
It
What
felt
is
fake,
fake?
definitely.
When my
What
father
is
died,
fake?
when my father died, for like the first 3 months, I didn't feel anything.
Yes.
It took me a while to realize that, my papa don't go. So are you telling me that if you walked in on me crying 3 months later, you say it's fake?
No,
you are not me.
My point is this.
People
yeah?
deal
My point is
differently.
this.
They deal differently.
I'm a very objective person, and I just feel this. If by some circumstances, my wife and I we separate today, and then my wife gets involved with gang, and then there's something. Me and gang, we're not guys anymore. It's that simple. Don't you get it?
No,
It's
but
that simple.
are you saying?
No,
but
it's
she
that
was
simple.
never
My
May's
point-
friend.
my
I don't
point
think
is-
she was
my
ever
point-
May's friend,
No,
though.
my point is this: they are not friends, but I'm not going to get mixed up, and that's why I always tell people that every time I get into a relationship and then we break up, I break off.
Okay.
So
Now,
let me
listen to what
just
Susan. Listen to what Susan says.
Let me just put this here. So there was a girl that I dated when I was in university, Bolanle. Fantastic girl, everything, but I was a stupid guy. I was of the world at that point. I was just doing my thing. Yeah.
We've been there. We've been there.
We understand you.
So we broke up, and she dated somebody that was my friend. He's late now. She dated someone that was my friend, and at that point I felt very, very hurt. Like, of all the people in the world, why are you going to date this guy? But guess what? We're friends today, and I realized that honestly, people
You
will
handle
al-
things differently, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right,
So
look at what
respect
Susan says here. Susan says, do not forget that he came out public with this information because he had a son by the other woman. That was when the first wife knew that he was dating someone else.
I don't think so.
And even had a child by her.
So I
So
don't
the
think so.
thing had become messy from the start, from the get-go.
No, I
No
don't
one
think
has
so.
a problem with him having 2 wives or more, but caution them to be at least
No.
respect each other.
so-
the second wife isn't respecting the first wife.
No. So
and it's a problem.
I honestly completely disagree with it. So if you follow that girl, like 4 years ago, she don't post YOLO. So you have to be very stupid to not think that there was something there. Like, I'm sure.
But because they were not together then.
No, they were together.
They work together rather.
No, they were together. And I honestly believe, this is me, I'm not sure, but I honestly believe that his wife knew about this girl for a very long time. She probably had sleepless nights over it. But at some point she was like, okay, why, whatever, you guys do your thing. Until the girl now had a child, that's when she had a problem. Because, this guy posted this girl maybe like 5 years ago. There was something I saw online, so I was like, don't be today. You can't tell me that the wife did not know about them a long time ago.
Yeah.
It just became public knowledge.
Body language must have told us something.
Exactly, she knew.
Body language must have told us
She
something.
knew.
We have a message here from Adinka. Yinka says, gang, this body language thing, by her nightgown, you shall know her needs.
Babe.
You shall know her mood.
It's not lying. Now,
Yes.
the guy.
I think every woman has this in the bag when it comes to body language. Based on what your wife or your partner wears to bed,
you know if you're getting it or
tell.
not.
It's that simple. I think for women, it's very simple. They communicate.
You know if you're getting it or
certain
not.
things.
Definitely.
Yeah, so like
You
talking
know
about
if it's happening or not.
the
My brother,
lingerie
if
she
I told
puts
you
on.
how weird my wife is, maybe please.
Are you sure you
forgive
go
me.
home tonight?
Forgive me. Once I see my wife enter the room 3 times in a row, come out.
That's it. What are you still doing outside the room? Why are you still outside this room?
Filing.
Okay, march forward, march into the room.
No, but the only thing, the only thing for me, the only thing I want to tell women tonight and every day of my life is be more vocal. Men are not mind readers.
Yeah.
Be more vocal. You can be with
Boss, hold that thought, because I'm going to want you to take the tip tonight. So this thing you're saying almost sounds like the tip. So let's allow Mr. Femi to give us the tip.
Dear women, speak your mind. If you want knock, talk. If you don't want
They will not
sometimes
talk, oh. They will not talk.
the truth of the matter is that a lot of relationships have been destroyed by women just expecting the guy to know.
Exactly.
And the guy is actually dealing with a lot of things in his life. He's dealing with a lot of things. So, as a woman, please try. Millions of relationships have been destroyed by women just expecting that he should know what to do.
It will happen.
It will happen. Like, stop.
What it will not happen?
Well, stop.
Baba is
Just
tired.
say
He
it.
wants to
Like-
sleep.
Like, just say it. Like,
He
okay.
wants to sleep.
It doesn't change anything. Just say it. It doesn't make you change.
Just say it.
Say it. Say it, man. Say it.
Yes.